Hi, Wolves. Happy Thursday. This is Miss Manoli with the Wolfen Message. I'd like to begin the conversation today about something that we haven't spoken about for a while, and that is tardies. As you know, I usually talk to you about it. I bring it to your awareness about what's going on. So I'd like to discuss with you the latest. I have been able to generate some reports, and I also know that at the beginning of last month, I provided you the incentive of a free dress day if you were able to go down by 5%. So each grade level, if you went down by 5% in comparison to the previous month, then you are rewarded this. Unfortunately, none of the grade levels were able to meet this. But I do want to share this data because I want to move forward with this month and set some new goals. So what I have for you is a table that represents the September data versus the October and setting some new goals for November. Sixth grade in the month of October have accumulated 753 tardies, which is much higher than September. Seventh grade have accumulated 946. And even though it's higher than the sixth grade, it is lower than the previous month. So congratulations to all of you for making that possible, seventh grade. Now, eighth grade also went up in comparison to the previous month by reaching 1,480 tardies. Those are huge numbers. And so moving forward to reach that 5% decrease of tardies, sixth grade needs to have no more than 715 tardies for the month of November, seventh grade, no more than 898, and eighth grade, no more than 1,406. So I'm very optimistic of you reaching this goal because these numbers are still huge. But I also feel that with the time change that we're having and the time change that is going to happen this Sunday where we fall back, it will feel like we're getting an hour more of sleep and you will be here on time. So an interesting fact, especially for this time change, is that the period one is representing a high percentage of these tardies. So sixth grade, 51% of your tardies come from period one. So if you were to make it on time, you would absolutely make it possible for you to reach your goal. Seventh grade has a 39% of period one representation, and eighth grade is 42%. So these are huge numbers. If you just all made the effort of coming to class period one, that would be enough to reach that goal that I have put in place for you for the end of the month. Now, moving forward to something else is that this month we are celebrating the Native American Heritage Month. And as always, I always look to find insightful information about how everything got started and how people celebrate around the country. Now, this is a video that I have found for you that kind of give us the historical perspective of how the Native American month of November got established. So here it is.
Yata, it's a great day to be Native. Today marks the beginning of Native American Heritage Month. While Thanksgiving tends to be the highlight of November and the holiday most closely associated with Native history, Thanksgiving is not the end-all be-all of Native American history. While we love turkey and football, we want to go beyond the festivities of the holiday because this month is an opportunity for the indigenous people to share their perspectives at a national level. It serves as a platform to acknowledge and celebrate the contributions of Native Americans and their achievements. But before we get into all that, let's take a dive into the origins of Native American Heritage Month. This national recognition of our heritage actually began as a day that was advocated by several individuals and groups as far back as 1914 to 1915. For instance, Red Fox James from the Blackfoot Confederacy traveled from state to state across the country on horseback to gain support for a day designated for indigenous people. Dr. Arthur C. Parker from the Seneca Nation actually convinced the Boy Scouts to adopt a day dedicated to the first Americans. On behalf of the annual Congress of the American Indian Association, Reverend Sherman Coolidge from the Arapaho tribe issued a proclamation declaring it an American Indian Day in May. These examples go to show that this month actually stemmed from the efforts of Native Americans over a century ago.
Decades after the early 20th century, Congress passed a Senate Joint Resolution in 1986, sponsored by Senator Alan Cranston. It authorized and requested President Ronald Reagan to proclaim an American Indian Week, which he did. Aside from some generalizations about the contributions of Native Americans, the proclamation includes an important statement regarding U.S. tribal relations. We look to the future with the expectation of even stronger tribal governments and lessened federal control over tribal government affairs. We look to a future of development of economic independence and self-sufficiency, and an enhanced government-to-government relationship that will allow greater Indian control of Indian resources. Up until now, we've discussed an annual day and a week acknowledging Native American heritage. But where did the month come from? Well, in 1990, a huge win was secured thanks to Representative Thalia Mavenga, who sponsored a House joint resolution authorizing and requesting President George Bush Sr. to proclaim a National American Indian Heritage Month. The joint resolution sponsored by Thalia Mavenga has some great language saying, whereas the people and the government of the United States should be reminded that certain concepts such as freedom of speech, the separation of powers in government, and the balance of power within government, all of which were found in political systems of various American Indian nations, influence the formulation of the government of the United States of America. And there's this quote, which is relevant to Wade and I on a personal level, that gives reasoning for this month, which encourages activities which provide positive benefits of enhanced self-esteem, pride, and self-awareness to young American Indians.
Ultimately, Native American Heritage Month means whatever we make it out to mean. It can become a time to discuss concrete policy changes for self-determination or funding aimed to revitalize tribal languages. We can develop a deeper understanding of the history of different tribes. While that's important, us natives should also spend time at home with friends and families, including our clan members, asking questions, listening to stories, and at the same time helping with the needs of the community. This is our month. This is our heritage. So let's make it worthwhile.
Well, there you have it. That is it for now. You have a wonderful day. Make good choices and see you all out there. Thank you. Bye.